Joining me on the news at 7 is an economist and financial analyst, Dr. Yishau Aliyu, to speak more on this. Dr. Aliyu, thank you so much for joining us on the news at 7. Nigeria has introduced a more comprehensive regulatory framework for virtual assets from an economic perspective. Now, how could these new guidelines influence investor confidence, innovation in fintech sector, and foreign investment into the country's digital economy?
The most important things when you are embarking on economic reform is to look at the basis at which revenue is coming to the government. And in looking at the basis at which revenue is coming to the government, you also look at the rate at which taxes are being fixed, because classical economists, right from Adam Smith, advocated that lower taxes always bring prosperity to businesses, and which also translate to the economy. Looking at that, and then looking at the digitalized economy, and looking at the digitalized world, and looking at the asset attached to digital platforms, there is need for government to put a tax net in the operations, for not just for realizing revenue, but also authenticating the digital asset, and then encouraging people to also have trust in the digital asset, and at the same time also protecting the interest of those who are participating or those who are conducting transactions with the digital asset. Is very paramount, it is important, and it is timely.
Now, while the regulations aim to protect investors and strengthen oversight, some industry players are concerned about the cost of compliance. In your view, do you see these rules, or do these new rules strike the right balance that's between encouraging innovation and ensuring fiscal financial stability, or could they slow the growth of Nigeria's virtual assets ecosystem?
Not 100%, but you know that in trying to introduce the taxes, we are not concerned about taking advantage in the digital asset transaction, and then taking advantage as sources of revenue, which also will now assist the economy. So it's not easy to say that all investors will be happy, because before today, those who are participating in digital asset have been making so much of gains, and it is natural. People, because of the tax apathy, people don't want to pay taxes. But so long as you are using a platform which is also recognized by the system or by law, then definitely certain commitment must be made. And this commitment, like I said in the beginning, our commitment to authenticate the digital asset, to encourage the participant, and also to encourage new investment, because the future of financial transaction must include digital asset, especially the crypto, which many economists are taking advantage of that. The Russian economy is taking advantage of that. The American economy is taking advantage of that. In fact, even in Africa, the South African government is also taking advantage of that. And that is to say that if other economies around the globe are encouraging the digital asset, then Nigeria has to come with law, because at the end of the day, there will.
All right, then, that was a good one. We'll continue the conversation, of course, as always. Dr. Yishau Aliyu there, an economist who joined us live from Abuja.